Hey, hi guys, how are we? Today is Tuesday the 30th of March. Oh, not many days left of March. So 30, we have 6 groups of 5. Let's learn with Mike. Okay, you can see today I'm in front of a church, and this is a uniting church. There's different types of churches. There's Catholic churches, uniting churches, Orthodox, are they churches? I think so. And I suppose we'll learn that this year. But you can see over here, this is called a stained glass window. A little bit like a mosaic with tiles, and usually stained glass windows are little glass panels and often different colours. So even this one is a stained glass window. It's interesting. I wonder why this one you can see the colours so vibrant, and yet this one you can't see the colours. I think you'd have to be inside and looking out to be able to appreciate the beauty in it. And stained glass windows, wow, they're a lot of money. And usually, well, let's see this one, in between the actual glass pieces is what's called lead. It's a type of metal, but it's lead, and it's easily bendable, and you'd use that for the pieces, putting them together, and it's very expensive to do stained glass windows. Now this, you can see that has a spire. All right, so this is the apex. Anything that comes to a point is called an apex, like this, and a spire. And I think if you remember, in January we went to the tallest building in Australia, the Q1 building on the Gold Coast, and it has a spire as well. And that's called a wind vane, where it has north, east, south, and west. And usually it sort of shows the direction, and that would usually turn to face, with the wind, and move with the wind, okay? So this is, with this church, you can see these stones are actually called bluestones, okay? So I'll come a little bit closer, check it out. These are called bluestones. And usually they're quite expensive. However, you can pick them up pretty cheap. I mean, every now and then people make retaining walls with them, but they're really solid. And they're very, very thick, and they're great for insulation, which means it keeps the hot, if it's a hot temperature outside, if you have a bluestone building, then it wouldn't be very hot inside usually. And same if it's cold outside, it maintains a pretty good temperature inside, okay? So bluestone is very expensive in the sense of, if I was to build it and not buy second-hand bluestones and buy them new, like this building would cost lots and lots of money to build nowadays, so they wouldn't build it nowadays, okay, in bluestone. But this church, which I tried to get in, but there's certain parts of it you have to actually go through another entrance that is locked. And usually there'd be a plaque, like a steel plate, showing how old this church is. But you'd have to say it would be over 100 years old. I mean, interesting, they have these downpipes for the water to go in. And I wonder if you're like me and think to yourself, it doesn't really suit the age of it. I don't know, unless they end up painting it. I just think it looks a little bit out of place. I mean, the doors are lovely, and it goes with the actual whole vibe of the church, and yet the downpipes just don't feel right to me. But even this would cost lots and lots of money. They wouldn't do that, in many buildings today, because it would just cost too much money. So there you go. And I wonder if you've been to any special churches, guys, before, that you've thought, this is a special one. And cathedrals are like big churches, and we have different cathedrals in Australia, but not too many, because remember, Australia is a relatively new country, because the English came over in 1788 and colonised Australia, and really, unfortunately, sort of, with the Aboriginal people, they, had them sort of take their land, which is a bit awkward, and I'm sure we'll talk about that another time. So we've only really, a few hundred, or 18, 19, so a few hundred years old as such. Whereas different countries of the world, they're way, way older than us. So they have buildings like this all around their countries, where we don't have too many around Australia. Alrighty, there's our learning today. Hopefully you got a bit from that and enjoyed it, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. See you guys. Bye.